beautiful evening. A beautiful evening where we'll talk about the Northeast Festival, the investments and startups of Northeast. So while I say Northeast, initially the picture of Northeast was quite bleak as it's very known to us. But when you talk about Northeast now, we see investments, we see startups, we see business, we see a growing Northeast, a shining India. So today, we'd like to dedicate this evening to this beautiful Northeast, where we talk about investment and business in the region. So to carry forward the evening, I would like to invite Mr. Shantanu Mohanta, the Chief Organizer Northeast Festival, to take over the dais.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. Good evening, everyone. So we are starting His Hon'ble Minister, Tourism, DoNER and Culture, Mr. G Kishan Reddy. He is live from Goa. And with us today, a very eminent personalities from across the investment sector. We are so privileged to have amongst us. And a lot of young entrepreneurs, startup entrepreneurs, students, potential entrepreneurs, and all of you. Thank you so much for this important Make in Northeast meet, DoNER dialogue. But first, let me invite Mr. S.K. Borua, Managing Director of NRL Limited. So we talk about investment. Welcome, sir. Honorable Minister, we are so privileged to have you amongst us in Northeast Festival. I am Shantanu Mohanta here. Thank you, sir. Mr. S.K. Borua, please come. Will be the moderator of the session. Is the Managing Director of NRL Limited. A big round of applause. The largest investment in Northeast is NRL. So we have requested the man driving this initiative to moderate the session. So that is the seriousness of this event. And thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. We have amongst us Mr. K.K. Dwivedi, the person who is driving the industry and transport sector in Assam in bureaucracy. Sir, please come. Mr. Pranjal Kaur is the Chief Operating Officer, Assam Startup. And Mr. Dipankar Borua, we'd like to invite you here. He's a prominent tourism entrepreneur who has started a hotel revolution in this part. So we are joined by some of the most eminent entrepreneurs across Northeast. We are joined by Oken Tire, who is an adventure entrepreneur who has brought adventure tourism to the Northeast. And he is considered India's one of the most respected adventure entrepreneurs. And Oken Tire is joining us from Arunachal Pradesh. We have been joined by Ms. Jasmina Jeliang. Ms. Jeliang is a proprietor of Heirloom Naga. She from Nagaland, she does the exports all over the world, and she is bringing textiles of Nagaland and entire Northeast throughout the world. A very pioneering entrepreneur, Jasmina Jeliang. We have amongst us Dr. Dhabali, Dr. Thanjam Dhabali Singh. He is a Chairman and Managing Director of Babina Healthcare and Hospitality Industries. He runs a big hotel, not chain of hotels in Imphal. People say nobody can invest in Manipur at a time when there are a lot of issues of insurgency. But Dr. Dhabali has turned around and brought a big investment culture to the entire Northeast India. We have amongst us one of the most successful startup entrepreneur of Northeast India, Parvez Obed, who is joining us from Calcutta. And we are expecting Mr. Prashant Sinha is also there, who is from NRL. And then we have a lot of glitteries of national media personalities has come all over the country, and we are here. We have Director of Tourism Assam here. Mr. Biswajit is from FICCI. And Biswajit can also come here. You can come here. Okay, so I make a beginning. Initially, we'll felicitate Bhavna will felicitate our speakers. So Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of young entrepreneurs here, and today's session is DoNER Dialogue. Hon'ble Minister for DoNER, Tourism and Culture, Mr. G Kishan Reddy, after he took over the charge of DoNER Ministry, has talked about, and I met him recently, and he told me that his focus will be employment creation and creating value in the Northeast. On today's session, we'll talk about investment and startup in Northeast India. So we'd like to felicitate Mr. Tripathi sir, our Dividi sir, KK Dividi sir is here. Mr. Dividi sir is actually a person who is really driving the investment and startup process. We're thankful for your initiative. SK Borwa sir. Mr. Dipankar Borwa, Dipankar also a pioneer entrepreneur, Dipankar Borwa. Mr. Pranjal, I'm giving quickly actually sir is waiting. So Mr. Pranjal Kumar and Mr. So Honorable Minister, thank you so much for being there. Vishwajit is online. He's a FICCI in charge for Northeast. He does connectivity summit and he was involved with advantages and a lot of wonderful work he's doing. We have a lot of eminent entrepreneurs here, sitting here. Mr. Farid is there, Mr. Paduna Goswami, our commissioner, ex-commissioner, Azmi Hussain is here, and so many others. And especially our regards and gratitude for national media personalities coming all the way from Delhi and to hear our story of Northeast. So today's session is dedicated towards investment and startup. And this is as per vision of Honorable Prime Minister of India and Mr. G Kishan Reddy. He is a man who wants to develop IT in Assam, in Northeast. He wants to develop tourism in Northeast. And he wants to facilitate, help, whichever way possible to make the vibrant Northeast possible. So today's meeting is dedicated to DoNER Dialogue. And our Honorable Minister is shown his seriousness by being present here. Honorable Minister, right now Northeast Festival is happening in Guwahati. We are doing in hybrid manner. So right now Honorable Governor of Assam has inaugurated the festival. So we have brought performers from Nagaland, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Assam. We are creating a content and we are digitally live streaming it across the country and outside. The Northeastern community of Europe, USA and Southeast Asia is promoting our YouTube link so that people in Southeast Asia can see our cultural performances, our diversity, and we are presenting some specific focus with the sync with the Honorable Prime Minister and your vision about employment creation. We are focusing on tourism, we are focusing on crafts, we are focusing on agro processing, and most importantly, we talk about startup knowledge. So today's session, a lot of young startup entrepreneurs are here, and we'll talk about what they are doing. We will learn their journey, and we'll also need your help to take the movement that initiated in Northeast forward and make a vibrant Northeast possible. So I leave this stage because Honorable Minister is there. We have to do it quickly. So very small. Timing will be short. Presentation will be made today, and I leave the stage to Mr. SK Borwa, the moderator of the session. Mr. SK. Yeah, there's a microphone. The presentation will be a series of presentations about some of the successful entrepreneurs of Northeast. We'll have Assam government talking about Assam's industrial plan, and we'll talk about many other projects. Over to you, SK Borwa, sir.
Thank you very much, Shyamkanu. Thank you, sir, Honorable Minister Shri G Kishan Reddy, sir, to be here with us. Sir, with your permission, can we go into the session now? Okay. We are going. Sir, we are going into the session now, first session. As Shyamkanu has already briefed you about this session is primarily for startup and investments in Northeast and focused towards tourism and craft. And of course, other investments because we have a panel of speakers here who will be talking about diverse activities that's happening in Northeast, and we will have a lot of it on the online. So let us hear from them. May I request Dr. KK Divedi, IAS, Principal Secretary to the Department of Industries and Commerce, Government of Assam. Divedi, sir. Thank you.
you. Thank you, Barwa sir. Honorable Union Minister, all the dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, very good evening to all of you. At the outset, I extend my sincere thanks to Mohandas sir for organizing this very meaningful and very useful dialogue and this event. I will give you perspective about the Northeast and what are the potential, what are the challenges, and what government is doing, what need to be done to unlock the potential. So at the very outset, let us start with word Northeast. Many of us may not be knowing that who coined the word Northeast, who first used the Northeast for this landmass. So let me share with you. He was Alexander Mackenzie. He was Chief Commissioner of Burma, and he used this word Northeast in 1884 in his book. Actually, as you know, Northeast is basically a geopolitical accident. And after separation of Burma and in 1937 and partition in 1947, this landmass which was created is known as the Northeast region. It has a geographical concept, it is not a political entity. Now, next we keep on using seven sisters for Northeast. But many of us don't know that who used this word, who coined the word seven sisters for all these seven states of Northeast region. He was Jyoti Prasad Saikia, and he used this word in 1972. And later on, he joined in Assam government and elevated to secretary level. He retired from government job, and unfortunately he is no more. And so he used the word seven sister. Now the seven sister have one brother, you know, that is Sikkim. Northeast region as such, before we discuss the other things, like just give a perspective. The total area of the Northeast is about 8% of the total land mass of the country, and if see the population, it is less than 4% of the total population of the country. And the interesting thing is that the 5,182 kilometer of boundary is basically surrounded by 5 Asian countries, and only 22 kilometer this chicken neck connects with the so-called mainland. And Northeast has 220 ethnic groups, but you may be knowing that out of Northeast, people think that Northeast region is one homogeneous, one entity, but this is not the fact. There's so much diversity in the Northeast, so many tribes, customs, culture, distinct identity, and sub-national aspiration. So it's quite diverse, it's kind of mini India. What is the advantage? Why Northeast is special? And what is the advantage or what is the opportunities, what is the potential in Northeast? Let's go one by one. First and foremost is the strategic location. Northeast as such is not in periphery. We are not in corner. That was the old concept. You have to, now we are repositioning Northeast as an expressway to ASEAN countries. See, keep the Northeast in the center and draw a circle, then you can see that the Thimphu, Dhaka, Mandalay, Yangon, Hanoi, Bangkok, these places are closer than Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Chennai and Hyderabad. So we are closer to these Asian countries, so it makes sense we should look east rather than connecting, doing business and focusing only on the western side of the region. Northeast as a whole has a huge potential. A lot of natural resources are there. Just a glimpse. Assam is the birthplace of tea and hydrocarbon industries. In the India, tea industry started here about 200 years back. The first refinery was set up in 1901 in Digboi. The oil was discovered, crude oil was discovered here. So we are the birthplace, Assam is the birthplace of tea and hydrocarbon industries. We have a huge reserve of crude oil, natural gas and coal. And so far the bamboo is concerned, Northeast produces 66% of the total bamboo stock in the country. Apart from that, if you see, we have many exotic fruits, unique flower, orchids, aromatic plants, And if you see the potential, Northeast has the highest potential of geothermal and hydroelectric power in the country. We are number one in many areas in the country. The highest production of tea takes place here in Assam. Assam is the highest tea producing region in the world, I would say. And we are first in crude and oil natural gas. So far reserve is concerned, first highest producer of rubber, huge reservoir of limestone, first highest producer of bamboo, turmeric, silk, medicinal plants, so many things. We are number one in the country. We have a huge tourism potential, highest number of the national park, wildlife, ecotourism, tea tourism, heritage bungalow, and we have the highest number of golf courses in India. Religious, cultural, all kind of tourism potential is there. Apart from that, Northeast, particularly Assam, has IIT, Triple IT, NIT, AIMS, medical college, engineering college, such a huge pool of resources. And all the natural resources, human resources, and all sort of things. Despite all those things, why Northeast is underdeveloped? Why we are called backward? Why our per capita income is less than the national average? Assam's per capita income is less than Bhutan, Bangladesh, and our neighboring Myanmar, our neighboring countries. This is a very matter of concern. Let us go in a little bit, see the historical perspective. From ancient days, Assam was well connected with the trade routes of the world. We used to have trade, international trade with all the civilization. This is the old map you can see. You see this. This map is 1879 map. This is the map of Hindustan, further India, the old map of the country. In 1879, if you can see the map, the Northeast and Assam as such, we are more connected with Myanmar and today's Bangladesh and the Far East rather than the Bengal or the UP and so-called mainland. So historically, we used to have lot of business, trade, historical connect with the our neighboring countries. But gradually things change. And if you see the map of 1899, and you can see that during that time, even in Kamrup itself, there are 35 mountain passes between Kamrup and Tibet. Assam used to have a lot of trade with the China, Myanmar, all those neighboring countries. But unfortunately, as of now, we don't have a single trade route from Northeast to China. So all our trade route got disrupted. You can see that how Northeast was well connected with road, and other kind of connected with the neighboring areas. If you can see the this map of 1909, the first rail came in Assam in 1882, and it was started from Dibrugarh to Jaipur. That is about 20-30 kilometers from Jaipur, Dibrugarh town. And within short span of time, 20-30 years, you can see that we had a very good network of rail, and from Dibrugarh to Calcutta via Bangladesh, we have a very vibrant rail network, and you can see that this one. This map is 1915, and in 1915 the Britishers, they had planned to have 3 railway links from Northeast to Myanmar, and you can also see there is a plan that rail connectivity will be made from Guwahati to Shillong, and Nagaon to Tezpur, and from Tezpur to Jorhat. All those things were planned, but because of the World War, and things could not be materialized. After that, the War of Independence started, lot of island disturbances, and then the things could not be materialized. But this was the vision, this was the plan. And not only the rail network, you can see the waterways also. During colonial era, in 1841, first this steam vessel was started from Calcutta to Dibrugarh in 1841. But unfortunately, as of today, we don't have any vessel, any cargo service connecting Calcutta to Assam. And during colonial era, you can see this Brahmaputra was lifeline, and all the trade commerce used to take place through inland waterways. What happened? Because of independence, all these our connectivity, all the links got disrupted. All the trade routes with China, Myanmar, Bangladesh, all things got disrupted. Rail network was entirely disrupted, which used to support a lot of trade and business here. Access to port and sea was not available to this region. What was the result? The result was that we became landlocked and our economy suffered a lot. And this is the proof. You can see this bar diagram, and this, and you can understand the consequences of this disruption. In up to 1952, per capita income of Assam was more than the national average of per capita of the national average. But unfortunately, after that, after 1952, our per capita income grew, but up to not that level, and this gap started widening. And now you can see gradually it is widening. So before 1952, Assam was one of the richest state in the country, which has a highest, one of the highest per capita income. But after that, because we became landlocked, all the trade route connectivity got disrupted, so our economy suffered, and unfortunately we have not been able to restore those connectivity, those trade routes, those business routes, and that affected our economy and trade. Now what is happening? So how we can restore this old glory? How we can, what government is doing to ensure that this trade route, connectivity, all those things get restored, and we can bring back the prosperity of the before independence, when Assam was one of the finest, richest state in the country. So first thing is the connectivity. As I said that because the connectivity constraint, the region suffered a lot. Just give you a perspective. Presently, if you want to travel from Agartala to Calcutta, then you have to come through Shillong, Guwahati, and Siliguri, through Chicken Neck, go to Calcutta. It takes the distance from Agartala via Chicken Neck is 1650 kilometers. But if this connectivity is restored through Bangladesh, this distance comes down to 646 kilometers. And even rail route, if you come by rail route from Agartala to Calcutta, it is 1590 kilometers. But rail connectivity is restored through Bangladesh, our old trade route, then it comes only 499 kilometers. So you can see the cost effectiveness and time and other benefits. This is the last railway station from Assam side, which used to connect to Bangladesh, Mahisashan. Just few days back, Honorable Union Minister has come, Railway Union Minister had come, and our Honorable Minister Transport, he had a discussion with him, and we have been told that work has already started connecting this Mahisashan to next connectivity in Bangladesh. And I am hopeful that within 1 year, this rail connectivity will be restored. Another connectivity from Agartala to Bangladesh is Agartala-Akhura railway line. That is already done, the rail connectivity is done, but rail service is yet to start. Apart from that, this Trans-Asian railway network is also coming, and fortunately it is passing through Northeast region. And this is 81,000 kilometers of railway line connecting the entire stretch of Asian countries. So once it is made operational and functional, the Northeast will be hugely benefited. Apart from rail network, the Trans-Asian Highway is also passing through Assam. And Trans-Asian Highway, you may be knowing, this is a very ambitious project, and 32 countries are involved. 141 kilometers this highway is being developed and connected, and this will connect Tokyo to Turkey and further to Bulgaria, and a big stretch of this Trans-Asian Highway is passing through Northeast. There's about 6 locations where this Trans-Asian Highway is passing, and at most of the stretch, the work is already complete, and now there's a legal issues, other issues. Once it is made operational, Assam and Northeast will definitely be benefited hugely. Another Asian trilateral highway is coming up. and India is funding this project. This Trans-Asian highway will connect India, Myanmar and Thailand. It will start from More, Tamu and go up to Maosat of Thailand, and hopefully within this year, we are expecting that it will be made operational. Another project is coming, Kaladhan multimodal project. So India is developing a Sitwe seaport, and from Calcutta this cargo will come to Sitwe, from Sitwe to river Kaladhan it will come to Joraipui of Mizoram. So Northeast is now has only one access to mainland and this thing through Chicken Neck, and now another route will be opened that is strategically very ambitious and very useful connectivity for the Northeast region. Kaladhan project will also shorten the route between Mizoram and Calcutta, and it will be beneficial to the Northeast region as a whole. New airport and heliport are being developed in Northeast region. We have taken up with the Ministry of Civil Aviation one new airport we have proposed in Silchar new airport, and one in Karbi Anglong. We have also proposed heliport in Haflam and near Kaziranga. So work is going on, a lot of progress is taking place. Apart from that, Assam has committed 100 crore as viability gap funding to start the regional connectivity and also international flight. And I am hopeful that within this year, 5-6 international cities will be connected from Guwahati. Inland waterways, Government of India and Assam government is working closely to develop the ports, jetties, and start new vessels, new ships to use this inland waterways. And we are also proposing international cargo service from Dibrugarh to Calcutta. We are considering if we can give the viability gap funding, which will accelerate the trade and commerce in this region. Dredging of Brahmaputra is going on. Government of India has also given some kind of financial support to Bangladesh to dredge this Brahmaputra stretch of Bangladesh. The work has already started. Once this stretch is dredged, I am hopeful that the 24/7 connectivity will be there and a lot of cargo movement can take place. Logistics, we are developing one multimodal logistic park in Jogigopa, and work has already started. NHIDCL and our industry department is developing this project. We have also planned another multimodal logistic park in Silchar. Apart from that, we have planned industrial park and industrial cities across the state. Assam government is also working to promote and facilitate the cross-border trade. But unfortunately, the present scenario of the cross-border trade is not encouraging. For example, in 2017-18, the total trade between India and ASEAN countries was $81 billion. And if you see the contribution of the Northeast region, so it is almost nil. So this is very unfortunate because we are so close to ASEAN countries, BBN countries, and Bangladesh, Myanmar, Singapore, Thailand, but unfortunately our import and export from these countries are almost negligible. If you take the trade example, trade scenario with Bangladesh. Bangladesh is our natural market. That's the way we have the shared history and culture, all those things, and naturally we can do a lot of cross-border trade. But unfortunately, situation is very disquieting. Bangladesh is India's one of the biggest trade partner, and in 2018 and 19, total trade was $10 billion between these two countries. But unfortunately, out of this $10 billion, the contribution of Northeast less than 2%. This is very unfortunate. Then what we are doing, what government is doing to change the scenario? There are 32 land custom stations and 7 integrated checkposts across the Northeast region. From these checkposts, integrated checkposts and land custom stations, cross-border trade takes place with the neighboring countries. Assam government has given the land, we have invested money, and we have upgraded the infrastructure as Sutarkandi, Daranga, Mankasar and Golakgans. lot of infrastructure has been created, and we are working with Government of India to upgrade it further and open more trade, widen the trade activities and expand the trade basket. So hopefully that within next 3-4 years, the trade we are expecting, it will be almost double from Northeast region to our neighboring countries. How this connectivity is going to change the scenario? Just I wanted to give one real life example to you. A team of officers and Honorable MLA led by our Honorable Minister visited Kale. Kale is a place in Myanmar. You can see in the map. So it is not far away from the border, India's border. So they went there and they found in a small market, you can see the shop, they found a chocolate called Dark Fantasy. And they found this chocolate was made in Mangaldoyi, Assam. And when they came back, they inquired that how this Dark Fantasy from Mangaldoyi reached to Kale. So Kale is so close, if you go by straight, through Myanmar, through Murray, then it will take hardly 2 days. But when we searched, we found that this Dark Fantasy from Mangaldoyi came to Guwahati, from Guwahati to Siliguri, Siliguri to Kolkata, from Kolkata to Singapore, from Singapore to Yangon, from Yangon then Kale. So it took about 2000 kilometers of circle, and after 2 months of journey, then this Dark Fantasy reached to Kale. So you can imagine that the cost effectiveness and the time it is taken in the business, it cost a huge on the business and trade. But these connectivity network is once restored, so our trade and commerce will accelerate it. And the last few slides, other things what we have done, we have created legal framework to support the business. We have brought out Ease of Doing Business Act, and I would tell you that our EODB platform is one of the finest in the country. And we have a very robust online Ease of Doing Business platform. You apply online and all the permission, clearance, license, everything is given online. You need not to visit any office. And we have also brought out an act, Assam Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, under which MSMEs need not to take any clearance, any permission for initial 3 years. You just give one application and you are allowed to start your business. After 3 years, then you are required to take all the license and clearances. Policies, you can see that we have a number of policies, and recently we have brought out ethanol policy, electric vehicle policy, and 7 industries have confirmed that they are going to set up ethanol plant, investing about 1500 crore in Assam. So, as I said, in Ease of Doing Business, the 35 departments are involved, 465 services are being provided online, and we have got 1,47,000 applications, and out of them 95% applications have already been disposed of. That shows that how vibrant, robust and effective Ease of Doing Business platform we have. Now come to the last slide, investment scenario. After taking so much policy initiative, infrastructure, all those things, you can see the result. Assam is now becoming one of the fastest growing industrial and economic hub. And from 2018, after Advantage Assam, total 44,147 crores projects are either commissioned or ongoing in public sector. And so far private sector is concerned, 22,000 crore project either completed or ongoing or just in pipeline about to start. Total, if you can see, the 66,433 crore projects either completed or ongoing or in the pipeline. That shows the confidence of investors and businessmen in the industrial ecosystem of this region. Now, what next? Next is that we should take advantage of our strategic location. We should not feel that we are in sideline, but leverage our geographical location and develop Northeast and Assam as expressway to ASEAN. And another things, we have to keep on improving our connectivity, logistic, infrastructure, and let us open trade routes and do business with our neighboring countries. and I'm hopeful that in next few years, Northeast will lead us India to the ASEAN and SAARC countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It was quite a wide, and you have covered everything in the state of Assam, the policies, and it was interesting to know how Northeast, the name Northeast and Seven Sisters have come in. We will be taking questions later, maybe because our Honorable Minister also will be joining us. Before that, may I request Dr. Dabali, who is the chairman of Babina Healthcare and Hospital Industries, to please come on the screen. Dr. Dabali, please.
I would like to convey my best wishes to the organizers of 9th NorthEast Festival being held in Guwahati, especially to Mr. Shamkan Mahanta. Thank you for inviting me. I regret not able to physically attend the festival. Yet let me share with you some information on our organization along with our experience in the last 38 years. We started in a very humble way back in 1983 on 9th of November. It was a basic laboratory facility, and we had a very steady growth starting from 1983 to 1994. And it was in 1995, after almost 14 years, we could establish the full-fledged diagnostic center. And till today, Babina Diagnostics remained as the flagship unit of the organization. 2007 was a very important year in the milestone, and it was in this year that our laboratory got NABL accreditation that happened to be the first of its kind in the entire Northeast. And the same year we also diversified in hospitality sector by the promotion of classic hotel. And today our organization is formed by 3 different companies, private limited companies, together known as Babina Group, and we work in the areas of healthcare and also in hospitality. As of today, there are more than 1,000 employees working with us. In healthcare, the primary unit is the diagnostic healthcare being provided by Babina Diagnostics. We also have a second unit that's in cancer care by the name of Babina Oncology and Super Specialty Hospital, and it's being managed in collaboration with Cancer Treatment Services Hyderabad in the brand name of American Oncology Institute. And the diagnostic healthcare, as of today, we have 2 units. One is the main laboratory based in Porompat, and the second unit is based in Rims Road, that remains as a branch. We also have 3 joint venture units in different parts of Northeast, and also more than 120 collection centers all across the region. The hospital that I mentioned, that's the Babina Oncology and Super Specialty Hospital, is at 100% capacity and also provides facilities for medical, surgical and radiation oncology. And we have the facilities for linear accelerator, the PET-CT and also gamma camera. In hospitality sector, We have chain of hotels, all based in Imphal. The Classic Hotel is the first one, and we also have a 4-star category hotel, the Classic Grand. And under the public-private partnership, Hotel Imphal and Central Resort are the 2 units that belong to the government of Manipur, and it's being managed by us under the public-private partnership. Classic Grand is now upgraded to member of registered individual branding. This affiliation will certainly enhance our visibility, and we will be able to provide global service standards with local touch, and will also create more customer confidence and take the hotel to new heights. And it's a 4-star category hotel with 171 rooms, with amenities like swimming pool, gym and beauty parlor, and 3 multi-cuisine restaurants, and 2 conference halls and 1 meeting room. And the unique selling point of this hotel is its ample parking space. We have the developmental plan of Hotel Imphal. The existing old building will be upgraded to 3-star category, and we also have a plan for the development or promotion of a 5-star category hotel on the same campus of Hotel Imphal. We are also taking care of the corporate social responsibilities by organizing free health camps, free testing for the poor patients, discounts for chronically ill patients, supporting children home, and sponsoring various social and cultural events, and keeping the environment clean, and supporting the sports, primarily the football. To conclude, I was once an unemployed pathologist. Today I am happy that I am able to employ the galaxy of healthcare workers working in our organization, and also to make tourism feasible in a strait-on Manipur, and just to make it a reality. And thank you so much for your patient hearing. Hello.
Thank you, Dr. Dawali Singh. He is, of course, not live here with us. It was quite interesting to see about Bhavina Healthcare and Bhavina Hospitality Services. In that is one of the largest chain of hospitals in Manipur, Imphal. Next, we would like to request Honorable Minister G Kishan Reddy, Honorable Minister of DoNER, Tourism and Culture. Sir, am I audible to you, sir? Sir, if you are audible, can you please go ahead, sir? Honorable Minister, sir, can you hear us?
Professor N.G. Mahanta, Mr. Chandrasekhar Patwari, Mr. Jasmine, Mr. Dawali, Sri K. Diva Dwivedi, S.K. Barwa, and today's program chief organizer Chayan Khan Mahanta, and all the dignitaries, those who are participating in this event, friends, brothers and sisters, I wholeheartedly New Year greetings to everyone. I extend once again hearty New Year wishes to everyone. Thank you for having me here, and it was indeed great experience to listen to all the before speakers today. I also appreciated the organizers for taking up this initiative and stating a dialogue on the startup potential of our Northeast region. I also congratulate all the entrepreneurs and startups from the Northeast region for setting an example and inspiring others as well as India is celebrating 75 years of independence. We have achieved tremendous growth in almost every sector. Today, we achieved 150 crore vaccine doses. This is the largest vaccination activity in the entire world. It must be said that our entrepreneurs has given a huge contribution throughout the journey of economic progress and building brand India. As a Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, please say, the Northeast region is a fast becoming gateway of national growth. When we talk about local to local of Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are taking about the power of the people with that every step to progress. Has placed the development of Northeast region as a foremost priority to the Act is it is the right time. Northeast not only joins but starts leading the development journey of New India. Over the last 7 years, constant progress is being made by connectivity and the logistics and become better each day. The region is rich reservoirs of natural resources, minerals, wealth flora and fauna, fertilizer land, exotic fruits and vegetable, unparalleled scenic beauty. Just now, presentation, the richness, the natural resources, the connectivity, the possibility of the Northeast region is before me presented. Friends, everybody know, last so many years, in Northeast region, different reasons, different examples, different aspirations. There's so many insurgency activities taken place. Because of that, there is no investments, there is no concentration, burns, road close, there is a hesitations, everybody knows that. Because of that is one of the reason. And also now I can happily say civil societies of NorthEast region, political parties and NGOs and all students organization and different public societies, but their support now NorthEast region peace has restored. Now we can forward to the in all angle for developmental and other infrastructure activity. Along with this geographical proximity to Asia Pacific nations, the region has immense potential, just now told. I will accept totally to the required infrastructure and market linkages. The NorthEast can become a trade hub of the Asia Pacific region. But this large scale of efforts are being undertaken to improve connectivity with both within the nation and with the other states. The capital connectivity project is a set to open a new chapter in the growth story of NorthEast region. We can understand the pace of development when we see that the road and highways, national highway projects worth of 85,000 crores in progress across the region. Friends, even in case of connectivity, the scenario has improved by leaps and bounds. There is a 4G mobile connectivity and Wi-Fi connectivity for village panchayats has been enhanced. The growth of connectivity should soon turn into economic prosperity for the 8 states and the people. Everybody knows this railway connectivity is going on to connect all important cities of NorthEast. Today, 122 tunnel works for railway track work is going in NorthEast region. And also, there is a road connectivity, air connectivity, train connectivity. Simultaneously, last 5-6 years is a vast thing we are doing, playing the role of enable the government to try to tap into the inherent potential of the region by creating conducive business environment. Be it in the potential of the tourism sector, organic farming, natural farming, agriculture, horticulture, IT sector, service, industry, textile, tourism, among the others. In all these sectors, there is a immense opportunity for entrepreneurship and investment. Ever since Hon'ble Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji started the Startup India initiative, entrepreneurial spirit has swept the nation. Along with these several initiatives such as Startup India, Mudra Yojana, Startup Northeast movement is getting a huge momentum through the Northeast Venture Fund scheme. The scheme is helping youth explore the untapped potential of the states and also make good living for themselves. As a part of celebrations Azad Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the government is documenting the inspirational journey of 75 young entrepreneurs from Northeast region who are under 40 years of age and facilitate them for their achievement. A book will compare, and these young performers will also be given institutional support from a IIM Shillong to help them scale up their business. I believe this type of activity will act like a ripple effect to inspire others to start their own journey in this region. I also startup owners to mentor budding entrepreneurs to help them further chart of a future of growth and development. I also urge the business community to carry the message of investment ready Northeast across the country and beyond. I would like to thank the Kanam Mantu, Shankarman Mantu and the organizing team of Northeast Festival for bringing various entrepreneurial stakeholders of the Northeast on a common platform. One thing I can assume, Government of India is a wholeheartedly committed for development of Northeast states. Just now told, we want to encourage employment, entrepreneurship. We want to establish connectivity. That is just now told, road connectivity, train connectivity, air connectivity, IT connectivity, political connectivity, culture connectivity. In this scenario, we are working and also extend the artist wishes for the Northeast Festival. Hope all will enjoy Northeast culture and diversity in this festival of growth and happiness. I once again heartful thanks to the organizers and elders, those who are participating in this function, those who are connecting this function. And once again, I see you, entire country with you, entire nation with you, Government of India with Northeast region. We are sincerely, wholeheartedly committed for this cause. Thank you again. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. That was wonderful listening to you. It's so much of investment plans, so much of connectivity issues that you talked about, the development of infrastructure, sir. So it is actually a regret for us not to have you here with us physically today. If you were here today, it would have been much more interesting, sir. But nevertheless, thank you for the wonderful speech, sir, taking out your time and and addressing us here. Thank you very much, sir. We can go to the next speaker, Mrs. Jasmina Jeliang. Jasmina Jeliang, she is the proprietor of Heirloom Nagaland. Can we have Jasmina speak, please?
Esteemed panelists, guests, participants, and organizers of the NorthEast Festival. Well, I'm indeed honored to be here in your midst today. I would like to tell you straight away that as a trade practitioner, I think we have spent too much time dwelling on our resources and the possibilities thereof. Lack of market linkage, lack of infrastructure, and lack of connectivity. These three were the unanimous chants during my time. And when I say my time, well, I'm talking about the late 80s or the early 90s, meaning I've been around for a very long time. However, I'm very proud to tell you today that despite all these challenges and shortcomings, sitting right here in Dimapur, Nagaland, we have managed to set up a business in hand-woven textiles and handcrafted products in cane, bamboo, and other natural fibers. And we are 90% export-oriented today. Almost 3 decades ago, when I ventured into the handicrafts and handloom sector in my backyard unit with just one master weaver, well, I had no inkling that I was setting up a business or getting into or setting up a brand, let alone getting into exports. However, I was acutely aware of the fact that whatever was available at that time was only traditional in format, and therefore, by reimagining the existing textiles and crafts, whatever was shown in the market was immediately lapped up. And I had a bull run throughout the night. It was somewhere towards the end of the millennium that I would think I was reaching my saturation point. But fortunately, I was mentored by the Dutch government in export marketing, and they facilitated my participation in 2 B2B fairs in Paris, which took my business to the next level. And around the same time, I also got in touch with the Export Promotion Council for Handicrafts, which is the apex body of more than 10,000 premium exporters pan-India. And ever since then, I haven't looked back. But I have to tell you that it wasn't hunky-dory all the way. The challenges were galore to stay connected to the markets and in the process to receive uninterrupted orders. So I assumed the role of a pesky sales girl armed with a bag full of samples and with the yellow pages as my constant Bible would knock on several prospective doors. And the other challenge that I constantly faced was logistics. It was really a nightmare to send things out from Nagaland because there was nothing structured in terms of transport. In fact, my first consignment of hard goods to the US was through a Maruti trailer which was going back empty. So I hired a Maruti trailer to send my goods to the Namashima port. And as I speak to you, I'm very proud to tell you that we have sold our handmade products to as many as 30 countries. And currently, as I speak to you, we are retailing and wholesaling in as many as 11 countries, pandemic or no pandemic, through our retail and wholesale partners. And they constitute many high-end chain of stores and luxury standalone boutiques as well. And in that sense, over a period of years, we have been able to create a treasury of skilled human resources. We have been able to impact a lot of livelihood. And when we talk of livelihood generation, I talk of providing livelihood right into the doorsteps of our artisans, because many of our artisans work from their homes. And in fact, back in the day, I would feel very inadequate if people asked me where my factory was. But today, with a great sense of pride, I would tell them that most of our workers work from their homes. And in that sense, we do not uproot them. We stand by vision, and we have also been able to carry on with the cultural legacies of our communities through the work that we do. Today, we have built an entire ecosystem of artisans and currently provide employment to as many as 500 plus women weavers who work for us directly from their homes, and as many as 400 plus male artisans. I think two factors has been instrumental in keeping us afloat thus far. One is like staying relevant. Well, you may have the most exquisite stuff, but unless and until it resonates with the end customer, it's a no-show. I recall very early in one of my B2B fairs in Paris, this customer from Norway came up to me and I said that I love the stuff that you have on display. However, the colors that are on into most of your textiles scream tribal from over a mile. You know, that really set me thinking, and sure enough, for the next fair, we immediately changed our color palette, and yes, it was a huge sellout. Likewise, we have repurposed a lot of the traditional crafts into products that we think is in trend, or so to speak, trending, aligning with the right markets and market demands. I think market intelligence is key to your business success. Are we going to go on and on about an IKEA or a Target or a Walmart sourcing from us? Or do you want to sell through mom and pop stores or chain of stores? Clearly in our case, we knew our capacities, and we knew that we cannot conform to the IKEA compliances, nor did we want to sell through the erratic mom and pop stores, so we consciously cultivated chain of stores. Also, we did not jump into everybody's bandwagon. Lately, there are just too many startups wanting to sell their products without investing anything in us. So we are very particular about where we sell and through whom we sell. I think, having said that, there are two things that I would be willing to share with the participants. One is thinking out of the box, and two, understanding our own capacities. When I say thinking out of the box, I think there is this general misconception that NorthEast means only cane and bamboo handicrafts, and it stops at that. Well, during one of my fairs, there was this customer who came up to me and wanted to buy bamboo sticks. The first thought that came to mind was he must be talking about agarbatti sticks. He said no, he wanted bamboo sticks of 50 centimeters in length. And I said, what about for? And he said that, well, I need those bamboo sticks to hold up orchids. He wanted at least 3 containers within the next month. Now, none of us, even though we would aggregate our capacities, were able to provide that. We need to explore and bring in what is not there in the market already. With emerging market trends all binging on sustainability and driven purely by conscious consumption and mindful living, I think it's about time that we encash all these resources that we have at our disposal into hardcore commerce and convert the traditional wealth that we have into commercial wealth. Once again, thank the organizers of the NorthEast Festival, spearheaded by Shamkami Mahanta, for its untiring efforts to spotlight the NorthEast region into the right audiences. Thank you, and keep it up.
very much. Right?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That was Jasmina Jelian. We would have been proud to have, it would have been a privilege for us to have her here today. I know her personally, and it is one of the most success stories of handloom. 500 women, 400 indirect people working, 90% of the products being exported, and B2B meeting in Paris. These are all our success stories for somebody coming from all the way from Singapore. Thanks for being here with us, Jasmina. Next, we move forward, and may we have Mr. Okentayan, Chairman, ATAOI NorthEast Chapter. Mr. Tayan, please.
All these years, people in Delhi and Mumbai have been enjoying this fantastic festival. But we have this right at our doorstep this time, closer to home, which is not a bad thing at all. So everybody should come and enjoy this festival. You know, all these years I've been trying to promote Arunachal and the Northeast in general as a niche, high-end, very special kind of destination, and draw the best tourists from all over the world. So let's keep it going, and at the same time take time to appreciate and conserve our rich natural and cultural heritage. So let's keep the show going, and I want everybody to have a fantastic year. Take care. See you soon.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That was very short and sweet. Okay. Next, we have Mr. Pranta Sinha from NRL. Can we have Mr. Sinha on the stage for the presentation?
Hello, Honorable Minister of DoNER and respected dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you all. Today we are privileged to present ourselves. I am representing NRL, and we feel privileged to present ourselves in this Make in Northeast session of Northeast Festival. To begin with, I think this is one of the apt forums where NRL can present its contributions in developing an healthy investment ecosystem in the region and what it plans to do in the coming years. Can we have the next slide, please? Thank you. So just to begin with, the journey for NRL began in 1993 when a company called Hon'ble Refinery Limited was set up to incorporated to set up a refinery in Assam, and eventually the refinery was set up in the year 2000, and commercial production started from October of 2000. Since then it has almost been 22 years of profitable business for NRL, and what I am going to tell you is about the investment that NRL has made in the region over the last few years. To begin with, in the last 10 years, NRL has made an investment of around 4,300 crores in developing various assets in the region. One of the major projects out of this 4,000 crores is the wax plant, which was commissioned in the year 2015. I take great pride in informing you that this wax plant of NRL at Numaligarh is the largest wax producing unit in the country. And as a whole, the state of Assam and Northeast, along with IOCL's Digboi wax plant, we produce around 70% of paraffin wax in the country. And not only we contribute in producing majority of the wax, we are also exporting this wax to more than 66 countries around the world. So we all feel proud that we are making Northeast visible in the global scenario. The next big investment we made was upgrading our diesel hydrotreater unit, which was commissioned in 2018 at a cost of around 1,000 crores. After commissioning this plant, we have been able to produce BS6 grade HSD as per out of well norms of the country. Apart from these major projects, we have also invested in joint venture companies. To begin with, we have 10% equity in Brahmaputra Kekar and Polymer Limited, which is now another success story for Northeast. We have 26% equity in Duliajan-Numaligarh natural gas pipeline. Then we have two more joint venture companies who are implementing two big flagship projects in the Northeast. One is the second generation Biorefinery in Numaligarh, which will convert bamboo to ethanol. And this is one of the flagship projects not only for NRL or Assam. In fact, the entire country is looking up to successful completion of this project. The next one is very vital for growth and development of Northeast region, which is Indradhanush Gas Grid Limited, which is setting up a network of pipelines, natural gas pipelines across Northeast, and it will connect all the state capitals of Northeast, and thereby giving an opportunity to all the states to have a gas-based economy in the region. Can I have the next slide, please? Thank you. Now, as I have told you about the last 10 years story, it was something around 4,000 crores. But what NRL plans for the next 5 years is even more bigger. What we plan to do is around investment of around 35,000 crores, which is, you can say, almost 10x, 10 times what we did in the last 10 years. So this is a very exciting period for all of us here. So out of this 35,000 crores, what we have is this Numaligarh Refinery expansion, another flagship project, which alone is 18,000 plus crores. Then we are also laying a crude oil pipeline from Paradip in Odisha to Numaligarh. My previous speakers have already spoken a lot about connectivity, a lot about getting linkage to the market and all. So this pipeline is one of the key instruments as we see it, which will bring in more investment into the region. As we construct this pipeline, we will make additional crude oil available to the region, through which not only NRL but also other refineries like Bongaigaon, Guwahati get an opportunity to expand their capacities. The third one is the second generation Biorefinery, which I have already spoken, is being implemented through our joint venture company Assam Biorefinery Limited. The project cost is around 3,250 crores, and we expect to commission this project by December 22. Apart from these ongoing projects, we have few more projects lined up. The first one is a polypropylene plant that will put us into the petrochemical sector. And apart from this, once the new refinery is commissioned, we will also have several product pipeline projects to connect important key markets in the Northeast. One of the plan also includes setting up a product pipeline from Numaligarh to Imphal and then going to More. Then we can also explore this Southeast Asia market. Next slide, please. I'll just try to give a brief about Numaligarh Refinery expansion project. This is the project is essentially about increasing the capacity from 3 million to 9 million metric tons, and also laying a crude oil pipeline from Paradip. This is about 1,640 kilometers. This will be one of the longest cross-country pipeline in the country. Total investment is 28,000 crores. As of now, we have already achieved 12.8% of physical progress and financial progress of around 7.4%. And we target completion by 2024-25. Next slide, please. This Numaligarh expansion project has a very strategic importance in developing the ecosystem or investment ecosystem in the region. It not only it not only helps NRL to increase its capacity, but the crude oil pipeline will also facilitate expansion of Bongaigaon and other Northeast refineries, as I have already said. It will also ensure availability of product in the Northeast region, particularly LPG. As of now, LPG, we are deficit in LPG. Once the refinery is commissioned, that we are sure that this deficit will also go away. This is one of the projects which is a key part of Northeast Hydrocarbon Vision 2030 of Government of India. Once the project is completed, we will also have additional product for exporting to Bangladesh, Myanmar and other Southeast Asian countries, and we can actually become an energy provider to the entire eastern region of India and Southeast Asia. Next slide, please. Thank you. These are some of the project site photographs. The project is already ongoing. I think we can move on to the next slide. Thank you. This is about the second generation bioethanol project. I'll just try to explain a little bit. The capacity will be 185 KL per day of ethanol production. Apart from ethanol, we will also be producing acetic acid of 11 TMT per annum, and then furfural of 18 TMT per annum. And the project is complete, almost halfway complete. As on date, it's 55% of physical progress we have achieved. Can we have the next slide, please? And we target to complete it by December 22. Next, yeah. The third one is the Northeast Gas Grid project. Once again, this is a repetition. This is how this entire pipeline grid will connect all the state capitals and important industrial hubs which will be consuming natural gas in the region. Numaligarh will also get connected. In fact, NRL is one of the anchor customers for this pipeline project, for this natural gas pipeline grid. So that's how it's another NRL's expansion plays strategic importance to this national, Northeast gas grid as well. So total investment is around 9,265 crores, and more than 1,600 kilometers of natural gas pipeline will be laid through this project. There are 5 promoter companies, and NRL is one of them with 20% equity participation. Next, please. Thank you. That was my presentation. Thank you so much for your patience here.
Thank you, Pranka. If any one of you have any questions, what we'll do, we can have it after the session is over. We have next lined up. We are waiting for the minister to arrive. He should be arriving here any moment now. Before that, may we request Mr. Subhranshu Sanyal, CEO, IIM Calcutta, Innovation Park, to please come on the screen. Subhranshu.
Here, am I being visible?
Yes.
If I can hear you, please just show me a thumbs up so I know it's visible. You can hear me. I can't hear you.
So you're visible and you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah. So, good evening. First, a big thanks to the organizers for inviting me to share my thoughts on the entrepreneurship development of entrepreneurship ecosystem in Northeast, and also to share the experience of my organization, IIM Calcutta. Now, a quick introduction of the organization. I am Congratulation Park. So we are set up under the aegis of IIM Calcutta as a not-for-profit organization to promote entrepreneurship and innovation. We have 5 incubation centers, primarily in East and Northeast. We have incubated more than 500 startups based out of 23 states, and we have a strong focus on social work. Now, I just used 4 or 5 minutes allocated to me to talk about our experience in Northeast, Northwest development, and share some insight. So we are, personally, I am working for almost around 6 years with the entrepreneurship in Northeast at a very ground level, and also very closely with several state governments in North. So whatever I am going to share today is based on the practical experience. Now, when we look at different entrepreneurship development initiatives, typically these are the 3 main objectives, that we want to motivate the youth to be from job seekers to job givers, which means a change in mindset. We want to create livelihood opportunities, leveraging entrepreneurship, and also we want to create social impact, solving some of the social needs or challenges leveraging innovation. So with these 3 objectives, we generally, when we start any entrepreneurship development program, these 3 objectives as the mission. Now, what are the problems we solve when we trigger any entrepreneurship development initiative? So these are the 3 challenges that we have seen. The first challenge is that who wants to be the entrepreneur, right? And it's not only the youngsters, but also the society as a whole is not so supportive to the entrepreneurs. And people think that if you are doing entrepreneurship job, you have not got a job. So that mindset needs to be changed. So who wants to be the entrepreneur? Second problem is that how to support entrepreneurs, whether different organizations, different governments try out different policies, and I think the key question is that what is the most effective way to support the entrepreneurs? And the third one is that this entrepreneurship of no use unless you create grassroots level impact. So how you can leverage entrepreneurship to create grassroots? So these are the 3 problem statements that solve. And when we talk about the solution, when we talk about a model of entrepreneurship development, typically the low-hanging way to do it is copy whatever is happening in the so-called advanced ecosystems like Bangalore or NCR or Mumbai and implement it here. But generally it doesn't work because the Northeast region has its own strength. It has there is unique culture and also unique challenges. So the model definitely needs to be customized for Northeast. Even within Northeast, I have traveled to multiple states and implemented programs, and I'm seeing that there is also a difference from one state to another in terms of cultures and strength. So this is one very important learning for us. Second point is support. Now, when we talk about entrepreneurs, the word entrepreneur is not a very homogeneous entity. There are different categories of entrepreneurs and different stages. So one size fits all does not work in this thing. So it has to be customized as per the needs. In the next slide, I would like to share our view on what are the different categories of support required for the entrepreneur. At the bottom level, there is a large number of youth who are not even aware of entrepreneurs. They are not much motivated about it. Then comes the program that we generally do for these youth is typically called immersion, where we are talking about motivation sessions, ideathons to give them the exposure to what is entrepreneurship, what is ideation. And it generally happens through intervention, academic intervention, partnering with the academic institutions. So from that, we train some people, some youth interested to try out their ideas. So this is the second category called willing to try. They have ideas, they want to convert to prototype. So that segment we call pre-incubation. And there are multiple initiatives under pre-incubation, include hackathon, challenges, idea mentoring. And to motivate this segment, we have seen this fellowship plant work very well. So that they don't leave it and take up a job, they can continue with their idea. Then the next level, a lesser number of people would be coming to this level, which is I have already started doing the prototype. I already have a prototype, or I am already about to start my business. So this level we call incubation, where we are talking about initiatives like business plan contest, food camp, and various other market connect. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir, you're audible.
Audible? I feel it. So, and then the final level is growth, where the startups are going to start it and then scale up. And there the main requirement is intense mentoring, marketing, funding, connecting to investors and so on. Okay? The next slide. What is the role of government? We don't know, if I'm not moving on the screen. Can you see my next slide, please? This is on government role. Anyway, let me talk about it. Now, the government needs to play a pivotal role in this case, which will include simplification of policies, providing the right kind of infrastructure facilities that include workspace, prototyping, laboratory, and handholding and knowledge support. Funding support and incentives. This is also something which is absolutely essential at various levels, starting from grants, from loans, seed and scale-up funds. Then promoting industry, academia, collaboration. So this is the role that the government needs to take. So we have successfully with multiple governments that include Assam, Meghalaya, Arunachal, and Mizoram. And over the years, we have catalyzed 10,000 ideas, mentored 2,000 entrepreneurs. We have incubated 350 plus startups. And this startup created 1,000 plus direct jobs, 5,000 indirect jobs, and 5 million.
Sorry, I think Subhranshu got disconnected. So maybe if you can get him again, we'll bring him to the screen. Thanks to Subhranshu for talking about startup in IMCU. May we have next Mr. Parvez Ovid. Mr. Ovid is the founder CEO of ERC Eye Care, providing eye care, healthcare to lakhs and lakhs of people. May we have Mr. Ovid, please?
Can I request Mr. Parvez Ovid to now start?
Sure. Hi everyone. So it's great to be back in NorthEast Festival, and I am fortunate, thanks to the NorthEast Festival team and Shamkunda for being there always, even in New Delhi and in OTT. And it's great to be able to be part of this distinguished panel of speakers and hear everyone. So I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an ophthalmologist. I passed out from Hon'ble Medical College, and I will keep it short because I think it's already late. So what we do, so when I passed out, I observed that we knew that there were 2.2 billion people globally who needed some degree of eye care. And out of that, 80% of the population would be helped with either eyeglass or cataract. And because many of our people in our region live in remote places, not in the cities, so affordability, accessibility, availability, and acceptability, we call it the 4 E's, were a major issue. And me and my team in 2014 around, we came up with a plan to have an omni-channel approach to deliver eye care solutions at their doorstep. And we used what we call a hub and spoke model, where we opened various sorts of structures like hospitals, stores, and mobile clinics. It went on, we made changes, and over time we added a layer of technology in terms of providing digital healthcare and making the things more affordable and accessible. And 70% of the population is reaching out through digital route. And with the government's push on digital healthcare, it was at the right time. So over time, we have been able to impact the lives of 500,000 people in the Eastern India. And with a team of 200 people across Assam, West Bengal, and Bihar. And we have raised funding starting from grant funding from Mahindra & Mahindra, to the World Bank, to VC funds from Japan, India, America, Europe, as well as from the government of India's NorthEast venture. So, and I have to mention that during COVID times, because we were it was a very big problem for us at the time, the NorthEast Venture Fund came forward to help us, and including we raised a amount of money from NRL, which is there in this panel right now. So that's my journey, and the way we are going forward is now we are starting projects in Bangladesh, Indonesia, and Nepal, and pilot projects, and that's the way forward. So considering the COVID situation, we don't know how fast and how slow it will go. But one of the things that principal secretaries have said that actually I am from Jorhat, so being from Jorhat is an advantage actually instead of being a disadvantage. Because here we understand the ecosystem of the region, all the countries that are there, right? Therefore, it's easier for us to go ahead and do business in those places and address the problems that are there. So I would not say much at this point, but again, thanks again to NorthEast Festival team and Shankanuda for having me on this dialogue. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parvez Jubaid. Thanks, and good to hear about your story and as you progress forward in eye care. We have our last speaker here with us is Mr. Pranjal Kumar. He is the CEO of IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, Assam startup. May I request Pranjal to please address the meeting.
Honorable DoNER Minister, guests in the dais, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by wishing you a Happy New Year. I pray that the year that we foresee and we are stepping into be a year that we can live without the mask. Thank you so much. Let me begin. I will not talk much about what startup is, because I assume that by now all of you would have some idea of what it is. But I will take a cue from what Subhranshu just spoke about what entrepreneurship is with regards to NorthEast and how it's different from region to region, location to location, age group to age group. basically as we move ahead and look at different demographics, the meaning of entrepreneurship also changes, and the kind of help that they need also changes, and hence we have to customize our approach to serve these entrepreneurs, and that's what has been our experience. And I talk about my experience a little bit as to what has helped us create the ecosystem that fostered entrepreneurship and helped develop the ecosystem. At the same time, also helped us change the mindset of the youngsters from where we begin to where we are now. And post that, I have a small clip which will show you basically our journey so far in the last 3 years. Just talking about what worked for us in Assam and how we may customize our approach to address the youngsters of the state, whereby it helped us to onboard them to our thought process and enthuse them to become job creators and job seekers. Where a couple of things, we very early on we realized that despite the fact that we are away from the mainland, we realized that social media worked very well in this region, whether it be in English or in vernacular, mostly in vernacular, and that's what we used extensively. Our social media handles among the startup states, the states which are participating in the startup movement in the country, our followers and engagement is the highest. In fact, we have been asked to help as well as support some of the advanced states in the country in the last couple of years. So that has been our most important and the most effective instrument to connect with youngsters. What we also did was that we from the very beginning we got a lot of investors, mentors, people from the industry into the region to talk to our youngsters. Because we realized very early on that it was not that we did not have capabilities and capacity here in our youngsters, but they lacked exposure. They did not know what was happening in the rest of the country or the world, and hence they did not know how to approach entrepreneurship or startup. And once they started interacting with these people from the industry and the ecosystem, they realized that they too can do and make, and that's where changes started happening. We started connecting with academia. We started going to colleges, institutions, talking to youngsters, telling them that take the plunge, we are there to help you, we are there to support. And this is the best time to start up, because while we were young, to be an entrepreneur was very difficult. I mean, we did not have many success stories from the family to bank on, or people that we knew from our immediate friends or family circle who was a successful entrepreneur. There was no support system from the government, and here these youngsters had everything laid to them in a platter. There were funds, there were grants, there were mentorship, there were capacity building program, incubation. All of it was available for them. They just had to come and shake hands with the appropriate ecosystem partners. So we facilitated that, and we did a lot of programs in the different academic institutions in the state, and that started bringing in the change in the thought. We did a lot of faculty development programs during the lockdown at various colleges, helped 12 colleges in different districts to start up their own incubation centers in whatever small way they could. We told them that we will help you find entrepreneurs, we will help train you to run these centers and help these entrepreneurs. So that helped to create a pipeline for us for our incubation process as well. We started something called the Idea Clinic, wherein on a particular day every month, people would come with their ideas, their pain points. If someone is already an entrepreneur, they might have some difficulties, and they come and talk about it. We help them there. Many a times we cannot provide them solution thereon, so we ask them to reconnect with us. We then do a one-on-one with them and help them provide the connects, or help them together come up with a solution to their problems, and all of that help create this ecosystem that we are talking about. And during the lockdown, while everyone was shutting down, what we did was that we created a platform. We realized that we had across IMCIP we had over 340 startups that we were incubating across different programs, and whether it's a state program or a program at the campus, we were running a lot of incubation programs for corporates as well. We run an incubation program for Bama lorries. We do it for Partner Ricard. We do it for the Tata groups. So these were there. These were some of the programs that we do, and then we realized that why not create a platform wherein all our startups from across locations, whether they be from the campus, the programs at the campus had incubating footprints in 21 states. Apart from that, we were running state government startup initiatives in Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Arunachal. We thought that why not create a platform where everyone could be brought together, and each one of them would talk about the problems that they were facing during the pandemic and help each other. So a lot of collaborations happened there. And I'm happy to tell you that while the first lockdown saw almost 36%, 40% of early stage startups closed down, none of us closed down. We could help through this particular platform and different initiative, help our startups sustain through the lockdowns, both the lockdowns, and they survived. We could find, we could help startups collaborate. We had someone whom we were incubating from Pune, and he was into e-commerce, selling handicrafts and traditional stuff. He found suppliers from Meghalaya, Assam, which he never knew, and just because of this platform he found that, and that helped him as well as the two startups in Assam and Meghalaya survive. We also started doing a lot of contests, business idea contests, ideathons, hackathons across the region at different institutes, thereby making them feel that there are opportunities, A, and B, this feeling of winning and getting a clout, getting a certificate, leading to some kind of an program wherein they get some bit of capacity development, training, which subsequently for many led to incubation programs, where success stories which help us seed this thought in their mind that it is not difficult. What also helped was that by the second year we already had some success stories within our first incubation program to talk about. We took these people to these colleges and made them talk about their journey that helped. When we did our outreach at any district, what we did was that we looked at a local entrepreneur from their particular district who was a first generation entrepreneur, and took him and made him speak about his journey. That gave a lot of confidence in the youngsters that yes, if someone like him could do it, I too can, and people started coming forward. So apart from that, we kept on having a lot of engagement programs, and we did not stop. We looked at every avenue. We went to the FM, radio, we went to television, we used all kind of media, any way that we found through which we could reach the youngsters, and could still, I'm using the word still a mind space in from the mind, right? So the idea was to see the idea of entrepreneurship and startup, and the fact that it was possible and it was damn easy to do was something that we wanted to kind of seed in their mind. And during the pandemic, as I told you, we not only helped 12 colleges to start up the incubation center, but we also did a lot of MOUs with a lot of national, international ecosystem players. We are basically a business incubator, so we have incubators who many a time need technical support. So we went on to tie up with different IITs, IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur. We had a couple of startups who were in the medical line, so we did a MOU with ICMR, and ICMR is mentoring 2 of our startups from the technology side for the product that one is developing a biohand, which is controllable with signals from the brain. But this is for the amputees. There's another who's making a digital microscope. So all of these people are getting support from ICMR. So just to cite an example. So all of this happened, and to sum it up, when we started our journey in 2019, and I used to visit college, and I used to ask students, what would you want to do? The first answer would be, a government job. I would want to get a government job. And then I would ask, if you don't get a government job, what would you, opt for? They would say, what would they say? They would ideally say a private job, and entrepreneurship and startup came as a last option. In fact, when we started doing the outreach and started the process of call for application to start our first incubation process, most of the applications that came in were from in and around Kamrup Metro. Today, I'm happy to say that as we step into the third cohort of incubation, we have applications and startups from as far as Bodia, North Lakhimpur, Hemaji, all across. Silchar, Golaghat, Walpara, Dhubri, all across. Which means that this message has gone deep into the hinterlands of the state, and not only that, people are willing to try out. I would not go further into the presentation. I would just want you to start the small video that I have created for this program that will tell you about our journey so far. Thank you so much.
Clenching efforts made towards achieving a vision. The vision to make Assam a startup hub lauded for innovation and impact. It all began in 2017 when the Department of Industries and Commerce, Government of Assam, formulated the Assam Startup Policy. In September 2018, India's premium B-School incubator, IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, was brought on board as the knowledge partner to drive the initiative. The inauguration of Northeast India's first state-owned incubator was followed by a state-level hunt for the first batch of incubation at the nest. 50 startups were selected for incubation run in a cohort mode. In February 2020, as the first batch graduated with flying colors, the second cohort batch of 26 startups geared up for incubation at the nest. Year 2020 stood out for the milestones that delivered on the promises and established a roadmap for the success to follow. In 2021, Assam Startup onboarded 103 startups for the third cohort. Marcy grant of rupees 70 lakhs were awarded to 14 startups. In just 3 years, Assam Startup has emerged as a top government incubator in the country. This could be achieved by dint of some ingenious initiatives. A series of innovative programs were designed to engage with the youths, inspire their problem-solving skills, and transform them from being job seekers to job creators. Innovations germinate in academic institutions. Assam Startup has made relentless efforts to partner with the academia and turn them into enablers catalyzing innovations. The 6-month incubation program is meticulously designed to enable the fledgling startups transform into scalable and sustainable commercial ventures. Through its capacity building programs, tailored handholding, funding and market connects, networking opportunities and infrastructure support, the NEST has been able to catalyze the growth of the incubated startups. With a number of international partners coming on board and renowned international figures visiting the NEST, the startups from Assam have gained exposure to the global startup ecosystem. Incubated startups from the 3 cohorts have together raised a cumulative funding of rupees 26 crores and 20 of them are the owners of patentable products. The startups have recorded success not just in their financial achievements but also in reinforcing a social impact in terms of creating livelihood opportunities and uplifting the economic condition of the marginalized population. Today, the startups from Assam are growing in confidence about their capabilities to emerge as global innovation leaders. This, we say, is just the beginning to a startup movement in Assam.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, Pranjal. A big round of applause for Home Startup. Yeah? So today's program is about entrepreneurship of young people. It's about promoting a culture of entrepreneurship, and today we're so happy to have Sanskrit Bora himself moderate the session. And so Vishwajit Chakraborty has done a lot of work for industrial progress, and Pranjal Bora is a very renowned entrepreneur. Pranjal, thank you. And we are so happy and lucky to have amongst us Hon'ble Minister of Industries, Transport, Active Policy, Skill Development. Mr. Chandramohan Patwari sir is a man who has driven this startup process, the investment process, a lot of investment. NorthEast Assam has started attracting a lot of investment of late. Thousands of crores of investment has happened. Today Mr. S.K. Bora spoke about no longer we are not backward in terms of investment. The entire paradigm shift. Credit must be given to the government of Assam, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma and Mr. Chandramohan Patwari sir. We are so happy to have among you, sir. Please come here, sir. We are so come with the finishing of this Make in NorthEast fitting finale, used by Chandramohan Patwari sir, Honorable Minister for Industries, Transport, Active Policy. I would like to felicitate him. These are young teams, is Bhavna, is Rangani, sir. These are all young team of our NorthEast Festival. When we talk about startup and we talk about investment to young people. So sir, we have been there for a long time, sir. This is the finishing touch. Today's fitting finale is yours. Just few lines about what has happened. I want to know, some people know, and people of NorthEast know about what has happened since Advantage Assam initiative. How many investment has come? Few lines. Would be grateful if you speak few lines about the impact of Advantage Assam in the Assam investment scenario.
Respected MD NRL Mr. Borwa, Pranjal Kumar from Calcutta IIM, and who is looking after the startup, the NEST in Assam, and representative from FICCI, and respected guests on dais, and my friends and ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I was in Doram district, and I spoke to Sankar Mohan that it is not possible for me to attend the meeting because our government has given some duty to every minister to monitor this COVID vaccination. So I was in Doram district, and extensively we have monitor this COVID vaccination in the age group of 15 to 18. So I was there. So when I was coming, then Chankanu Monto told me that meeting is going on, so at least for 2 minutes you just make a visit here. So that's why it is my privilege that today the session is on startup and investment in Assam. So Assam actually previously it is known that it is the periphery of the country that was known to the rest part of the country. So now after Modi ji came to the power, our Prime Minister, when he introduced this Act East Policy Affairs, Act East Policy, instead of Look East. So since then actually the scenario of Assam investment as well as startup is changed. So a state like Assam, now we are in a position to speak to the people of our country. Even in the last 15 days back, I was in Goa. In Goa also, many people actually, Heavy Industry Ministry actually organized one meeting in Goa. So many people were there. And Heavy Industry Minister, when after my speech, so Heavy Industry Minister Sri Mahendra Pandey, he spoke that what Mr. Patwari said, it is true. Now Assam is changed, and I have visited many places of Assam, and that's why our heavy industry people should go and invest as requested by Minister of Transport. So you please go and visit Assam. Now Assam is changed. So that is what he said in Goa. In Goa, All India Transport Ministers meeting along with heavy industry departments. So now Assam scenario is now changed. Previously we were in periphery, and now we are not the periphery but the center of Southeast Asian countries. We are the gateway of Southeast Asian countries. So as a result of that, in 2017-2018, so Assam organized this Advantage Assam. And Advantage Assam, 79,000 crore MOU signed. And mostly actually from the hydrocarbon sector, which Mr. Borua is dealing with this. And out of 79,000 crore, so practically it is landed 65,000 crore as of today. And this is a very good news actually. Actually from 10th, Hybrid Gujarat was supposed to be held there in Gujarat. I was also invited, and we could see our exhibition place and everything we have arranged actually. But suddenly yesterday, because of the increasing COVID cases in Gujarat, so Hybrid Gujarat is actually now postponed. So anyway, so in Bengal, in UP or in Gujarat, what number of MOU signed? So out of that number, even 30% was not landed. But in Assam, it was around 70%. So this is a good news. And 23 countries participated in this Advantage Assam. Now, suppose Mr. Borua, he knows another from another. So now this ethanol, actually by 2020, so 20% ethanol must be mixed with petrol. Now it will be in diesel also. So as a result of that, we have given from government side this ethanol policy. And our ethanol policy was such good policy, because of which 15 companies already came. And from oil companies, they have requested us that if 15 companies we give, then ultimately it will be 35 crore liter ethanol. So they need only 24 crore liter of ethanol. So we have given 7 companies now, and they have been given land, and now they will start their work if COVID will not disturb. So that way in Assam now it is the best place for investment in the country actually as on today, because we are the gateway of Southeast Asian countries. So this is what I want to share with you. And apart from that, this startup, it was a dream project of mine when I became industry minister last year. So last year when I was industry minister, so that was my dream project, startup. And it takes minimum 3 years to construct this 5-story building. And ultimately 2018 we inaugurated that startup, the nest actually, what is now presentation event. And Pradjal also spoke about startup, how we are moving. So one small baby, 2018, it is inaugurated. But you will be happy to know that a small baby born in 2018, now it is one of the top 10 emerging startup of the country. And they are really doing very good, because this age, this 21st century, is the century of startup, is the century of artificial intelligence, it is the century of startup. So my request to all of you to become entrepreneur, employer, then becoming employees. So that is what I feel. So today also when I visited some schools for COVID vaccinations, so the headmasters and principal, they requested me to speak 2-3 words. So in that meeting also I spoke about this. Few days back I went to Jorhat Engineering College Diamond Jubilee celebration. So in that meeting also I said the same thing, that this age is the startup. This is the artificial intelligence. This is IoT, IoE, Internet of Everything today. And so far industry is concerned, now industry is 4.0 today. And 4.0 means everything will be integrated. Everything will be integrated with the system, not with the manpower. So German is the leader of industry 4.0. A day will come, only the skilled people will survive. Only people who are doing some innovative startup, they will survive, or otherwise it will be very difficult to survive on this planet. That is what I feel. That is what I feel. That is what I have seen. So in Jorhat Engineering College also I spoke to engineering students that after passing engineering, so that those were in our days, when we passed out from engineering college, then we got a job anywhere in government department. Now it is not possible. There are many engineering colleges as of today, and every year engineers are passed out from different engineering colleges. And most of the, you see, those who are not getting job, as industry minister, they came to me and requesting me that you tell some industry so that we are absorbed with the industries. So when I requested industry also in a constrained position as of today because of the COVID last 2 years. So industry also given them say 8,000, 10,000 rupees and 18 hours job. So that is what happened. So now if we are in a position to innovate something with the help of startup, then only you see the question of survival is there. Otherwise, our survival will be very difficult for us. This is my request to all of you. You be entrepreneur, you be employer, then becoming an employee. So I will not take much of your time. Thank you, our Sam Khan Hon'ble for organizing this event. Last year they organized in Delhi. I attended to Delhi NorthEast festival also, and he's doing really good job in a positive way. So thank you very much, Samkal Mohanpro and your team. And I hope in future also you will definitely help our state as well as our other northeastern region states to attract investors for northeastern region. So with these words, thanking you again, I conclude my speech. Thank you so much.
So we answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here with us. We know you are extremely busy with all these vaccinations happening all over the state. Thanks for coming and spending your valuable thought with us. We had a long session today actually, 11 speakers, and some of them came hybrid, sir, including the Indian Minister of Tourism, DoNER, who was there with us from Goa. And we have a large participation in the morning. We have the inauguration by the Honorable Governor of Assam. So thank you, Shamkanu, thank you the entire organizers here, and thanks to my panel who was here with me. Thank you, we had a wonderful session. Thank you very much.
The team